Yeah, this was a disaster. So we tried to wet sandblast the Cuda in our own backyard, and things just didn't go our way. Obviously, it's not a viable option. You want to leave this stuff to the professionals. Luckily, we found a reputable company not too far away from us, and they fit us into their busy schedule. So we loaded up the Cuda and we took it to them. We got it back in a couple of days. They did a phenomenal job, and so now we're ready to shoot some epoxy primer to keep it from rusting. The K-member and the rear end were not in the best of shape. They had a lot of pitting from sitting out in the elements for so many years. So we took the time to sand them down and smooth them out as much as we could. We then sprayed a high build primer on them. We shot them with PPG single stage using the correct sheen of black, semi-gloss, and this is what they look like. So one of the things that we noticed, so actually two things that we noticed when we took off the third member from the AAR Cuda was that, number one, it came with the wrong gear size, and number two, it came with an open differential. Now, basically an open differential is, if you do a burnout, you're only gonna get one tire mark on the street, and that's not what we want. So we're gonna replace it with the Sure Grip differential, which will ensure us 2 tire marks when we put the pedal to the metal. Now, these cars were made to take to the track. So Chrysler found the strongest differential case available at the time, which is the 489 case. So we're gonna stuff the Sure Grip differential and the 355 gears into that strong case, and we're gonna get it going. After we dropped the car on the car jig, we noticed that the frame wasn't sitting right. It turns out that the front right side of the car is actually 3/4 of an inch higher than what it should be. So before we start cutting floors and replacing them, we need to make sure that the frame is perfect. Think of the foundation of a home. It has to be squared away. If not, you're gonna end up with an uneven house. Same thing with a car. When we got the car, we noticed the floorboards. They're not damaged, they're not rusted, but they weren't installed properly. These floorboards from the factory, they were spot welded, and the previous owner, or whoever installed these floorboards, they ran a bead weld, if that's what you want to call it, all across the edge of the metal. Listen, can you roll a piece of carpet over it and move on? Sure. Is anyone gonna ever go and pull the rug off and check the floorboard? Probably not. But with the kind of restoration that we're trying to achieve here, we can't settle for good enough. This has to be done right. We can't weld the floorboards on yet because we're missing the firewall. The firewall is gonna square everything away. Now, we ordered it a while back, but like many things, it's on back order. So we're simply just gonna clamp the floorboards on and we're gonna move on to other stuff. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the lead that is found where the quarter panel meets the roof. We're gonna use a torch and a brush and we're gonna remove it carefully so that we can get to the spot welds.
Just get all the way down here.
Due to the fact that our cowl was super rusted, water started draining down this area. It collected, it created a rust area. So instead of replacing the entire rocker panel, we decided to cut out the rust, fabricate a new sheet of metal, and that's what we're doing. We're welding it back on. That's it. Ready to rock. We knew from the beginning that the quarter panels and the floors had to be replaced. These cars are unibody frames, meaning that the frame itself and the chassis are one unit. So it's imperative that the car sits correctly in the car jig, because once we start removing the roof, the quarter panels, and the floor, we don't want the car to shift on us. The car jig keeps the car squared. Now that we know it's sitting on there correctly, we can start removing these panels.
Let's see.
What do you want?
Yeah.
What do you need, Mr. Magoo?
All right, get it.
Right there, just bring it in, yeah.
Hey, do me a favor, bro, right here. Can you cut from here this way so that it can just come off, and then we can take this off later on, but just do a cut, a straight line, or as straight as you can get it, or whatever straight means to you from here to here.
Free hand, Caesar.
Huh?
Free hand. Just do a free hand, dude.
Just freehand, yeah. Close your eyes.
What?
Okay, wait, Caesar. Caesar. Is it easier for you to go left or right?
Right.
There you go. Ephraim, it's gonna fall, bro. Yeah.
Man, I got it.
You playing or what, bro?
I don't have gloves.
Huh?
You're playing.
Harder side, dude.
Insubordination. The reason we decided to replace the entire quarter panel is because the original quarter panel was pretty much gone. It had a lot of rust down here, back here as well, had some rust over here close to the deck lid. Instead of repairing it, which would have been a very hard task and we would have spent a lot of man hours on it, we were better off just replacing it. AMD makes really good stuff. It looks great. You know, we're gonna take it off again. There's a lot of stuff behind this quarter panel that we need to fix. We just wanted to test fit it, and it looks awesome. We love it. This is a good example why a lot of the sheet metal on this car had to be replaced. Like the quarter panel, the trunk floor extensions. As you can see here on this outer wheelhouse, there's a lot of rust here. There's a lot of rust back here as well. There's some rust here. You can still see that there's metal there, but it's pretty much lost its integrity. Now, can we take our time and patch these areas up? We can, but a lot of this area around this rust is fairly thin, so the weld will just go right through. And also, it would probably take us too much time to get this done. At this point, we're just better off replacing the entire outer wheelhouse. We use these special drill bits to remove spot welds. Once we remove the spot weld, we'll use an air chisel to separate both metals. Now we need to be very careful that we don't damage the bottom metal, because we'll be using that when we replace it with a new metal. There you go, that's loose. All right, we're good. You got a little more. There you go. You can just press it. There it goes. There you go. Bro, let's cut it. Let's get the saws on. Let's cut this here, and we can worry about that later, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah, we need to take this piece off, so grind it off. Well, yeah, just as long as it looks like this, right? Yeah. I mean,
Smooth it all out.
yeah, smooth it all out. Tear it up like that, man.
Some tricks on it.
Now that we've replaced and repaired most of the rust on the car, we can continue to test fit the fenders, the quarter panels, the doors, and the firewall before we begin the permanent process of spot welding.